Also, I know you've done this. What do you think people need to know about Shedeur Sanders?
Thing about Shedeur is that the arm strength stuff, I don't really have a concern with him on that. It's the accuracy is fine too. It's his tendencies that I have an issue with, and his overall lack of size. Like the fact that he didn't measure in, or I believe he's declined. Like, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe he's declined to measure in at the combine. That's a concern, right? There's worries that he's under 200 pounds, under 6'1", which is very, very light. We're talking about Bryce Young level weight. And then the athleticism, I don't think is even close to what Bryce Young was bringing to the table athletically, which makes me concerned about if his play style and if his mechanics can actually translate to the next level. There's reason to be excited about Shedeur if you're able to get him, but there's also reason to be very concerned about him, right? Like because he's just not a even close to a top 10, top 5 level prospect in this year's class. He's pretty much averaged around what 22 on most big boards. So yeah, there's some good there with Shedeur, but a lot of physical concerns with him. And I would have loved to have those concerns erased at the combine, but it seems like he's not going to do any of that.
Yeah, and again, you, the thing about pro days that's different is that's all controlled and scripted by the player and his agent, so it's just not the same.
And to that point, how much, let's think about how much of Shedeur Sanders' entire public football career has been that kind of pro day level scripted experience for him, right? Like that's got to be my concern if I'm a scout looking at Shedeur. It's like, man, everything was presented through the most optimal lens possible. His father coached him throughout college, throughout eighth grade, throughout high school. He does the All-Star game circuit, but he does it at East-West Shrine game where his father has way more control over how information is going to get out because the connections that he has at East-West Shrine. And then he goes out and he doesn't do the combine, which is a less controlled environment, but he's going to opt for the pro day. Like at some point, if the only time people are letting you see Bigfoot is through these obscure camera angles and bad video quality, you have to imagine like, hey, there's something up there that they don't want me to see. And that's the vibe that Shedeur gives off. It's like, man, it feels like they don't ever want this dude to not be in a controlled environment, which like concerns me.
You've just given him a draft nickname, Bigfoot. Shedeur Sanders, Bigfoot.